Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly channeling for the collective. My name is Allison Holly, and sorry, I just shook the whole table. And I go live every single week to channel a message for all of you, for the collective, and also for one of you individually. And I see lots of you are already on here saying hello. And I also want to say if you are watching the replay, timestamps are in the description box so you can check and see when I jump into the channeling. But I'm going to say hi to everybody. Hi, Elena. Hi, Imani. Hi, Gio. Hi, Floor. Let's see. Hi, Kennedy. Hi, Chris. Hi, Arno. Hi, Courtney. It's so good to see everybody. Okay, I want to point this out. Do you all see? Oh, it's backwards in here, so I'm like trying to move it the wrong way. Do you all see my sweatshirt? First of all, I'm in weather where it's fall. Uh, if you've been watching this, you know I'm always somewhere different. Hi, Zahira. And yeah, and this is the True Creator Summer Camp sweatshirt. And I just mailed those all out to those of you who ordered, who were at camp. So super exciting. Football. I kind of love it, honestly. I don't know. I have gotten so in love with the human experience. I just really love it. What people do, all of our traditions, all of our weird ways of behaving. To me, it's just like, it's so cute. So I might even end up watching football a couple games. I don't know. Who knows? All right. Which I don't know anything about it. So if I watch it, I'll be like, which team am I looking at? Oh, I miss you, Delaney. Oh, and Imani, you too. Okay, I'm reading through these. Time to eat and rest and take care. Oh, rest and take care of my body. It's been intense for you, huh? Resting and thinking of a master plan, all while letting it flow. The master plan. A bit weird. I think I'm navigating things a bit more calmly, which is new. Yes, I read that message. Spot on about the intense energies. Hello, hello. I love the sweater. Yeah. I know. We're going to be more proactive about our sweaters and things like that for this year, but or for camp next year. So let me go ahead and go into let me read this. What did you say? You're in love with being human? Yes, I am. I am. This is a cool experience, y'all. This is like I personally think this is it's so fascinating, isn't it? I was even channeling yesterday with a friend, and I'm really excited. So I'm going to jump into announcements because everything I'm talking about has to do with announcements. But I was channeling yesterday with a friend, and it came through just how fascinated I truly am with being a human. There were there were several things that came through. I was asking, why am I so hooked on this? Or why don't I understand this? And it was like, you're studying being a human. Like, this is really new for me. So very fascinating. Where am I? I am in Arkansas. So I'm in my little RV where I live now. And right now I'm parked in Arkansas, heading out soon on a book tour. It'll be about a month from now that I head out. This will be the East Coast tour, and it'll be a little shorter. I haven't set up as many stops. It's been really interesting, y'all. If you live on the East Coast, and I've already talked to Chris about this, if you live on the East Coast, it's different. It's different. And it has been very different setting up the tour. So I'm just letting it be what it is. If it's just a few stops, then it's exactly what it needs to be. Um, so I'll just kind of let that be. Okay, other announcements. So, upcoming events. I have book tour events. If you're on the East Coast and you want to see me, it's kind of getting to that edge of last minute. But feel free to check my website, see if I'm already coming to your area. And if I am not, feel free to reach out and invite me, tell me some places you want me to come. Um, I'm planning it all kind of right now, so we'll just see where it goes. And I also have several retreats coming up. So let's see, in this winter in January, the first weekend of January, so it's the 3rd through the 5th, I will be in Orlando, Florida, hosting with a couple friends, hosting an ecstatic body retreat. So if you are curious, one, what is the ecstatic body? I'll explain a little bit in a minute. But if you would like to activate and awaken the ecstatic aspect of you, sorry, my nose is running a little bit, then this is a great retreat for you. So, what is the ecstatic body? This is when we are full of light, when all the channels in the body are open, or many of the channels in the body are open. We sort of open them little by little as humans, because this is such a dense illusion experience. So when we start to open these channels, light flows through and our body becomes ecstatic. And there are a lot of different practices and teachings. This has been a huge part of my awakening journey and what I teach, how to activate into ecstasy. And so I have two friends, those of you who know Amber, who was at summer camp and she was offering the cacao ceremonies. She's going to be part of this. And then my friend Monique, which if you've been around me for a long time, you've met Monique. We've worked together several years ago. We've been friends for a very long time. She just got her master's in psychology, but her purpose is really around sexuality. So it's going to be the three of us offering this really powerful retreat. If you are curious about it, check the description box below this video. Not easy to set stuff up. Oh, Chris says, apparently we're not as ... warm. It's true. It's true. And I'm so sensitive, you guys. If I call these places and they're like kind of rude to me, I'm having a hard time with y'all. No offense. No offense. I'm sure it's just the way that you operate and it's like very normal. I did live in Washington, D.C. for 2 years. And then before that, I was in Northern Virginia. So I have had parts of my life on the East Coast. And I remember when I moved away from DC and I moved to I moved to Portland, Oregon first, and then I went to Idaho. Just night and day. And I realized how locked up I had become, because people would say hello to me on the sidewalk and I would sort of like, clutch my purse. Like it's just a very different way of being. And so yeah, it's different, and I've gotten very sensitive over the years. So it's been funny to try and figure it out with East Coast, but I trust the process. It's all fine. I'm going to hang out with both of you. Right? I'm going to be hanging out with all of you. So as many of you that I can see, I'll be hanging out with you, and we'll see what events get set up as well. Let's see, other events. I do have a retreat coming up in Guatemala. I'm going to be taking you all to the sacred places that I visited during my solo pilgrimage earlier this year. It is such a special, powerful place. It's going to include a hike on a volcano. So Again, those of you who have been hanging out here, you've been watching for a while, you know that I went to Guatemala earlier this year. It was no exaggeration, it was incredibly life-changing, night and day. It was so powerful, and the whole time that I was there, I said, I need to bring people back here." So, if you would like to be a part of that, the information hello, Dr. TM. The information is not yet up on my website, um, and in fact, Ecstasy, we're the Ecstatic Body Retreat, we're getting that all set up this week. So if you're interested in any of those, send me an email, and I'll get you in on the early bird, pricing and everything like that. But the one that I do have up on my website is True Creator Summer Camp for next year. We already have 12 people registered, which is phenomenal, I think. Everybody's literally chomping at the bit, just so excited for next year. We're already planning the menu. Which I think it's just so cool, you guys. This has been a long time coming. Thank you. Please write your questions in the description box. And if you haven't been here before, type Q at the beginning of it so that I know that it's a question. I'm going to choose those in a minute. Thanks for just going ahead and getting into that as I'm talking. So type your questions in the chat. I'll choose one. And make sure you type Q at the beginning or else I won't count it because I'm just going to go through and count it like that. So yeah, summer camp has been, it's just been a dream. I've always seen it as one of the main annual events that I hold for this beautiful community. And yeah, and I mean, this year it was incredible. The first one that we held was actually 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, right? We skipped a year. But it was just so good and it just keeps getting better. The food is important. And so yeah, there's a lot being planned for that and I'm really excited about it. So I've been slacking a little bit, you guys. Early bird for summer camp next year was supposed to end a week ago. I haven't changed it on the website. If you still want access to what is it, a $350 discount, which is like 40% or something. I think it's like 40%. Jump on my website today because I will be changing that. And it'll go up to early bird pricing until sometime next year. All right. I love all these questions. You guys have really good ones. Oh yeah, that is a good question. Will humanity and Earth still exist? Not in the way that we currently are, that's for sure. The beautiful thing is I love this because I'm seeing so many of you say this is a beautiful question. I just kind of want to dive into it now a little bit, and we still may choose it. There are so many, it's really interesting because it is already written and there are so many collective choice points in between now and then. And yet at the same time, it is going to be what it will be, but what each of us individually witness, experience, and participate in will largely depend on where we are as individuals. So I don't know if you all remember, and it's still happening, but it was really, really popular at the beginning of my awakening. People were talking about the earth sort of splitting into two different experiences, meaning you would have the new earth experience and you over here would not, right? Well, that's very true, but it's actually far more moment by moment. If any of you have watched any of the podcasts that I've done on time or anything like that, it's not two separate places where I go over here and I'm inhabiting this physical planet that's very different than this physical planet. It's really about consciousness and our state of light. It's the amount of light that we embody and carry is going to show us everything in life. So, and again, this might end up being chosen, but we'll just see. But I love diving into this. So thank you, Floor. How many of you have no idea? Well, let's use football, for example. How many of you have no idea about anything that's going on with football? And how many of you are living and breathing it right now? Right? How many of you didn't even know that football had started? Right? And how many of you are like, I got my team and I'm so in it and I don't know, whatever it is, right? Is that the one with the touchdown? Oh, Chris, I can't wait to hang out with you. They have tight ends. That's what I heard. Cheesy football joke, right? So this is how it works. How many of you are really concerned, and feeling very frightened about some of the things that are happening in the world right now? And how many of you, maybe you even know everything that's happening, but you feel so positive, you feel so good? This is what we're talking about. This is I love that we use the football example because y'all are just cracking me up in the comments here. If you're watching the replay, read the comments. They're pretty funny. Hmm. Okay. I feel like I've been talking forever. I'm in such a good mood. This fall weather is just like getting me. Oh, and one of my favorite things about being in Arkansas, the water. This is natural spring water. Me and my friends go source it. We just take a bunch of big jugs and fill it up for each other. It's really, really cool here. So, all right. Type in your questions. I'm going to go ahead and count them. Let's see. I'm going to pull up random number generator. There we go. Okay. So, does anybody know how many questions we have? So that I don't count wrong. And if anybody else has a question, please type it in. 1. I just want to make sure that's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like that question. How do I know if I'm enlightened? And what are the signs that come to the experience? I lost count now, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for helping me out. I'm not linear. I'm in my feminine. Love me. Oh, it's question number 6. All right. I almost showed you. I'm like, look. So which one is that? Oh, it's the question that I was saying. I love that one. Okay. The question is, how do I know if I'm enlightened? And what are the signs that come to the experience? I'm going to read the rest of these questions because I know that they were all good. How do I get the energies inside me to settle down? Really good. What do you see for humanity? I'm going to read this one again because I love that one. What do you see for, Floor. Okay. One more announcement and then I'll go into this. I think I want that to be the channeling for the private community. Especially since it'll be in October. It's right before elections in the US. And I know a lot of people are really feeling, stuff around this election. Maybe you're not. I'm not really, to be honest, but I've got the spidey sense, so it's wonderful to me. It's all good, and it could get a little crazy. But anyway, I'd love to look at it as part of the private community. So if you haven't heard of this yet, I have a private membership space. It's called the True Creator Community. It's a lot like this, but once a month we meet on Zoom, and I'll do a channeling on a specific topic, and interact with all of you. And then another event that we have once a month, Stacy hosts a community call where you get to connect with each other, make new friends, just kind of dive in together, right? So it's a great place. It's $22 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime, rejoin anytime. It's a lot of fun. And if you want to be part of that, the link is in the description box. This upcoming month, let's see, for October, it is going to be on body health and healing. That's the topic. And so you can ask your questions on that. And then I was thinking for November, yeah, I guess it would be November. Wow. How has it already happened? Something around, earth changes, future outlook, and things like that. The Count Dracula today. It's question 6. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me be so cheesy. September 25th this month is the community connection call led by Stacy. So jump on in. Is it bad to disconnect? Yeah. Okay. Witnessing anxiety and self-judgment with no clear cause to the external world, what is being resisted and what energies are trying to come in, if this resistance can be let go. Okay. What are the factors contributing to the dynamics in the relationship with my mother, which is not either of our conscious awareness? Okay, cool. So I'm about to close my eyes. I'm going to go into a channeled space. Keep chatting. Keep typing in the chat. Let me know how this is resonating. And I will open my eyes at the end of this, obviously, and I'll read through the chat. So I always love to hear how it's resonating for you. All right. I'm going to wipe my eyes here. So we're going to go into the question around enlightenment first. The word light is very prominent in the word enlightenment, and this is for a reason. What you may not perceive is that all that you are aware of is illuminated with light. There are structures that are more dense because they are not activated with the light of consciousness. And really what those are, this is cool. I'd like to look at this. It's code. Wow. It really is like the Matrix. So for example, things like this table, it's code. I truly see like light language and number coding when I look at this table from an energetic perspective. And these are all projections. So the difference is in the movie The Matrix, it was created by an outside source. In this experience, we are the ones creating it. We are the ones actually on a very unconscious level. It's actually coming from source knowledge. We are projecting this sort of number or symbol sequence to create the physical level experience that we're existing in. We're the ones projecting it. It's just we're not aware. When you go into a psychedelic space, maybe a plant medicine space, or if you go into a very high level of consciousness, you will start to see the number coding that creates all things. Wow, it's a trip. I've had this experience. I'm speaking as me. I've had this experience in my waking life where even with my eyes open, I was seeing light code every time I looked at something. Now, The things that are more dense, the things that are not embodied with the light of consciousness are going to have those sort of number codes, because they're more dense. Humans are going to have what looks more like light coding. Y'all, this is so fascinating. Um, and yet it's really all light. It's really all light. That's why we call it light codes when we see the symbols written out, or light language, because it is light. It is closer to the expanded truth of higher frequency states, meaning we are witnessing higher frequencies when they are embodying the light of consciousness. We're witnessing those higher frequencies. To create something like a table, it doesn't take super high frequencies. It's just a number code that we're projecting into our world. I love this. This is so fascinating to me. So, that being said, to experience enlightenment is a graduation of stages, it's a graduation of steps. When we are at a very high capacity of enlightenment, we see the illusion all the time, meaning we see multiple variations of this denser version of reality. We see truth, which means that we can see all instead of a narrowed point of view, which is why, as we raise our consciousness, we become what we call expanded. Not only do we become more filled with light, but we become expanded, um, in our ability to see that all is beautiful, all is true, all is full of perfection, that there is no opposite to itself. This is a sign that you are at a specific stage of enlightenment, that you can see that all is true and all is perfect and all is absolutely beautiful, because it all is. It's just the isness, without the opposition, without the push pull. Now, it does humans well. It will do you well to not view enlightenment as a particular destination, because that's not true. From our elevated perspective, witnessing the experience of being human that you're going through, that doesn't serve you, because part of being a human is to externalize your power, which is to say, externalize your experience. And when you are believing that there is a specific place that you need to get to, that is again externalizing the experience. Closer to the truth that can be translated into your experience, or your reality, is that enlightenment is a series of stages. It's different valves within human consciousness being open to allow more of the light codes to come in, which is to also say you become illuminated. That is one of the other signs. You glow, and this glow is visible even to the human eye. You are no longer tricked by the physicality or the illusion of physicality. So things like levitation become natural for you at certain stages of enlightenment. Um, the physicality, the illusion of physicality becomes less real. It becomes something that you get to play with, but not necessarily that you're confined by or confounded by. Um, Instant change, because again, the physical self is not necessarily bound by the mental illusion that we place on it. So you become illuminated, you become filled with light. This light no longer hurts the physical self at a certain capacity. So, as each person is going through their own awakening journey, sometimes the light coming through feels physically uncomfortable or even painful. A lot of people talk about this during um, activations, Kundalini awakening, things like that, where as the channels open, the light streams through and it becomes maybe caught in certain areas that haven't opened yet, to allow this channel to go through. There is no judgment placed on any of these processes. There is no hierarchy from our perspective of how good or how worthy you are based on what channels you have open. Now, the game is to open the channels at this point. The game is to become enlightened in that you are full of light, because this is, again, at a certain capacity, it's highly pleasurable. And also, it's simply a part of the human expansion process during this current era. It's just what we've all decided to do. It is a part of the natural unfolding. And this natural unfolding, when viewed from the human perspective, does have the lens of good and bad, which is perfectly fine. From our perspective, it's simply what is, it's simply what's happening, it's what's unfolding that we witness with great fascination. As you can hear, uh, guides are coming through right now. It's not Allison speaking. It's the expanded version of Allison is what we want to share with you. That makes me kind of emotional. Mm. Mm. It's just so good. Um, Various states and stages throughout this whole process occur as something that's more familiar to many of you is that becoming enlightened means that you view others with light. You view them from the place of how incredibly beautiful they are, how incredibly fascinating they are, how filled with light they are. You see their light. This is because coming into light consciousness, as we'll call it, which is another way of saying enlightenment in various stages, coming into light consciousness inherently means that there's a unification or a remembrance of all being one. And so all other beings, all other humans are seen as aspects of the self and loved fully from that space. And in fact, all actions that humans take are viewed through the lens of love. There is no opposition in this lens. The body heals instantly. The body heals instantly. There is an alignment with the true path of the divine template. Oh, well, interesting. Healing the physical body can be done by jumping consciousness, essentially, witnessing another being who is living in this full divine love and embodying their state of being so that it feels familiar. So that's just a side note. Really interesting. I know we'll go more into that in the community call. Remember that light is an entire prism of colors. And this is important because one of the signs that you will see as a physical manifestation of more light coming through the system are things like rainbows. Those of you who see sacred numbers, this is because of an awakening. This is because you're starting to see the symbology of your entire experience. You're starting to see that this reality is really built on numbers. And so it would make sense that if you are allowing the full spectrum of light consciousness to move through you, that you would see the symbol of rainbows. This is a timeless symbol that many people have awakened to. If you are seeing rainbows, and I'm laughing because in the True Creator summer camp thread, after camp, everybody was seeing rainbows and posting pictures of rainbows. So I love that this is coming through. Is if you are seeing rainbows, this is a sign that this is starting to embed and that you are embodying this level of consciousness within your DNA coding. Oh, there's just so much that wants to come through on this. It's truly fascinating. It's truly endless. We could go into the symbology of each number, of every number, and the coding. If I really, what I'm hearing right now, and I apologize, my loves, but I don't want to do this right now. But what I'm hearing is I could get the number symbology for building a table in the etheric realms. And it really is like ones and zeros. And I see an 8 in there. So I'm guessing that it's not just ones and zeros. But it's really fascinating. It truly is the number codes. There's number codes for everything. And so when we see sacred numbers, what we're seeing is the code that activates a particular spectrum of light within the human experience and the body and the beingness of the witness, right? If you see 1111, that's going to activate and unlock specific codes within your divine template that matches a specific frequency. And this is why at times when you see these sacred symbols, you feel the physical ascension symptoms. There's a ringing in the ears. There's a feeling of dizziness. There's a feeling of moving outside of this thing that we call reality, because you are being unlocked and activated and more light is pouring in. It's a reciprocation. Not only are you projecting this into reality, but you're witnessing what is, and it's being projected back to you to further awaken you. It's a powerful process. Good Lord. This has been one of the coolest channelings that I've experienced in a while for me personally, and I desire for it to be just absolutely activating for all of you as well. Let's go into the collective. So fascinating. Humanity is doing fine. That wants to come through. Humanity is doing fine. There is an amplification that's happening right now within the individual and within the collective, within the larger scheme of things. Everything is amping up. The energies are amping up, which makes it seem as if time is speeding up, right? Because time is simply our perception of energetic unfolding through this continuum that we are embodying through this illusion of separation. And so what you're witnessing is an amping up. And so the intensity is very apparent. The intensity within the physical body, the intensity within the collective that you see of just kind of crazy looking things happening. It's not worse. It's simply amplified. All things are amplified right now because of the waveforms are much quicker. But humanity is doing fine. You are doing fine. You are doing great. And you need to know this because your perception shapes your entire experience of reality. So when you know, when you hear me say that you're doing great, the remembrance of you doing great from your perspective activates. And also, this is the larger truth. It's sort of like when you go underwater and you just let yourself be, you're going to float to the surface. The truth of you is love. The truth of all of us. And this entire experience is love. There's nothing wrong ever. But what a game. What a fun game to witness the feeling of separation, to witness the experience of separation to the point where it looks like things are really dismal. It's a pretty wild game. but humanity is doing fine. We are reaching the appointed thresholds that were set out for us. We are reaching the mile markers, as it's said, which is funny. I just want to interject this from the Allison perspective. I was like, but not everybody works on miles. And then I heard stones, and I was like, well, where does that come from? Who works with stones? I don't understand this measurement. And it's a remembrance of, I'm channeling through my lens to bring this information through. I work with miles. It's going to be mile markers, not stones. I don't understand the measurement of stones. Okay, interesting. I'll have to look that up after. If any of you know what measures in stones or whatever that means, please let me know. That's funny. I love channeling. This is so silly. Hmm. You are going to witness many people being upset about many things. Again, the amplification. And when we're in a very myopic, when we're in a very narrowly focused viewpoint, something shifting out of what's expected is going to make the individual very upset. So there's going to be heated emotions in this life experience. But if we can witness it this way, much the same as you would witness a toddler having maybe stubbing their toe or having a toy taken away because it's bedtime or something like that, something that's really not hurting the child, but is from their smaller or limited interpretation. It seems very egregious, very amplified. When we can witness even our adult selves experiencing life this way, it clicks us out of the narrow focus of what's happening and helps us see that this is simply a moment and a perception of an experience. It's not the full thing. But people who have not yet learned to expand beyond their narrow focus will view changes as detrimental. And each human does this in different areas of their lives, right? Some areas feel very easy to let go of control, and others feel scary and um, detrimental. It's all part of the same landscape. Know that it's all always okay. Hmm. Is there anything specific for this period of time? Hmm. There's some sort of a lightness, and throughout this whole channeling, I keep seeing the infinity symbol. Oh, wow. Okay. Awakening to our eternal selves through witnessing change. So, depending on where you are in the world, you are witnessing change. This is an equinox time on the planet. And that means that there's change happening. And we have the ability and the chance to come into knowing of our eternal selves, our infinite nature, through witnessing time within the human experience. And what that means is the renewal process of all of it, depending on where on the clock you are, what part of the renewal or breaking down process you are, it's all really always renewal. There is always a rebirth. So powerful, we can witness this. And to remember that the infinity symbol inverts. When you cross that 0 point threshold, it then flips. And we are in a time now where we get to see the inverse. Um, and we could go deeper into this, but it's essentially what has been played out as karma over many lifetimes. We now get to see it all in the blink of an eye or over seasons. It's very powerful. So we get to witness the inverse of all of our actions, sometimes immediately. It's pretty beautiful. But also the seasons show us this in a very gentle, beautiful way. I'm going to go ahead and come out. There's one final thing that keeps coming up, which is friendship. There's an emphasis on friendship, particularly this week. So last week it was an emphasis on family. This week it's an emphasis on friendship, allowing your light to shine and to be met with others who are witnessing your beautiful light because their own is illuminated. So that's beautiful, full circle from the beginning. Okay, thank you so, so, so much. I want to thank all the guidance, the guides that came through, the aspects of my higher self that came through. That was so cool. I saw the Matrix. That was so cool. Oh, you almost asked the question about friendship. That's so funny. Yeah, the number coding. DECU. What's the DECU floor and the OM codes or OM codes? Human IKEA. Oh my god, you're cracking me up. Jules Arns who teaches it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know what? Yes, please, Floor, if you remember, if you would like to, feel free to post it in the True Creator community because I feel that probably a lot of people would like to see it. Your family and midweek checkpoint last week were spot on for my life. Friendship seems on the docket for sure. Last week was wild. As soon as I finished this call, I actually got a message about my family and really went into some deep stuff with my family last week. So it was a message for me too, and I couldn't believe how immediately it was after this channeling. So beautiful. Aren't stones a metric in Old England? I think stones were European sounding. Yeah, milestones. That's cool, Kennedy. What a cool interpretation. Oh, you are all amazing. I love these weekly channelings. I'm going to share a manifestation desire that I have, and I would love your help. I am manifesting 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And I would love if you could share this YouTube channel with your friends, let people know about these weekly live channelings. Um, Kennedy is doing amazing work turning a lot of these channeled transmissions into smaller clips to put on the YouTube channel. So if you can share any of the videos, I would so, so, so highly appreciate it. So deeply appreciate it. Share it with your friends and anyone that you see would benefit from this. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you for all of that. All right, my loves, I love you all, and we will see each other soon. Okay. Have a beautiful Sunday. Bye.